hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is Jaylee's Corner. This is a different kind of video. And actually, let me get a little bit more brightness. Hey y'all. Okay, so this video is more like a vlog. Okay, a couple people, I'm saying, asked me to like vlog some stuff about, me being around Detroit or whatever. So today, after I went to lunch with my homegirl Reba, I rode around to a couple different places. However, when the camera was facing me, what I did not realize was there was like a whole smudge on my camera, so you can't see me at all. And it's dumb to have that part of the video in here. And when the camera was facing, the scenery or whatever, that's fine. So all the parts of me talking I can't use, which sucks. Which is why I'm coming to y'all in my house at night with the fan blowing, okay, bare face and arms out or whatever, to kind of explain what this video is. So the video will be shorter than what I thought it was going to be, simply because me talking is not fully in here. So what you're going to see is it'll be me here talking about what you're about to see, or after I saw it, because I can watch what I was saying and kind of redo it so that you can kind of just, it don't look like a weird dark smudge and it's just stupid. Anyway, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and become a whole Jaybird. I don't need my glasses. Dun 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 and all that good shit. So again, I rode through a couple of different neighborhoods that I grew up in. So as y'all know, I am born and raised in Detroit. I grew up on kind of three different places, I would say. When I was born, we lived on St. Louis and Luce on the east side of Detroit. That's back when my mother and my biological father were together. When my mom left him, we moved to the west side. We stayed with my Aunt Willie. My Aunt Willie is my mom's dad's twin sister. So she was my great aunt. But again, Aunt Willie was my mom's father's twin sister. So we stayed there. From around the time we went over there when I was in like the first grade, and we moved like when I was in like the sixth grade. So we was over there for a couple years or whatnot. Was it the sixth grade? Maybe the eighth grade. I can't remember. But it was, up and through, middle school time or whatnot. And then, that's my mom met my dad around when I was like in the first grade. And then when we moved, we all moved together. Me, my mom, my dad, my sister, and everything. Okay. So I show y'all that part. I also went and showed y'all, the bad guy place where I showed y'all how I used to walk to his house, which is crazy. The house where I was pushed out the window, I put that on there. The place where I was carjacked at, that's going to be in here. So I've had different story times. So I kind of showed y'all the places where these things happen. Now the places look different now, and I'm describing that in the video as well. But I just wanted to give y'all like a piece of where I came from, basically, even though it looks different now. I even was able to show y'all my middle school and my elementary school. I didn't ride past my high school. What else did I show y'all? But I'm a pop in here and there to say little stuff. But what I'm saying, this is what you're seeing. Again, I had different footage in the car explaining it more, but that's what I get for not wiping my camera off before I hit record. So I hope you enjoy. So I'm riding around again. This is different stuff. This is Eric, is Ryan and Ida Drive. So I know sometimes they like, is Detroit, is it messy? Does it look decrepit and dingy and dirty? This, it's just the area. So I'm at a stoplight right now. So that's why I'm able to move the camera around. But as you see, it's greenery everywhere. It's trees and shit. You see it's houses. Try not to make my camera move so much. It's houses. People live here. It's not a bad area at all. And again, this is on the east side, basically. This is around like 8 Mile and Ryan, on the east side. And I'm going to ride by the house I stayed on which was on Nevada, and I'm gonna show y'all how I used to walk to the bad guy's house, like late at night. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, that I'm older, like, I don't think it was safe. But at the same time, back then things were safe. And you just never know. But it's because he didn't live too far from me, basically. And when I met him, like, I met him when I was 17. Oh, gas is cheaper on this side. Gas is how much? It's $2.75. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not gonna get gas from over here, I'm just saying. But back then when I met him, I was 17. And then, I turned 18. So I wasn't like, a real young teenager. I was like, of age to be able to be, out here doing whatever. And for the most part, I would leave the house once my parents were asleep. And, I wouldn't get in too much trouble, but, it would be, they wouldn't be like, girl, what are you doing? But they always knew where I was going, so it wasn't a big deal. But again, I had some freedom as a teenager, but, it was what it was. So my house is on the left-hand side. I'm going to pull up over here and see if I can get any of it on camera. So that is my old house. It don't look like it used to look back in the day, but that is my old house. It used to be houses all over there. So we used to have houses over there, like it was a whole block of houses, and now it is not. But that is our old house. The tree looks crazy. The yard does not look taken care of, but that is where we used to stay back in the day. That's the neighbor's house, and that I don't really care about. But yeah, that's where we used to stay. And because I don't know any of these people, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to keep it going. And I'm going to show y'all how I used to get to the bad guy's house. So I would leave the house, and I would start walking this way. Okay? And I don't know why I would go this way or the other way. But to me, this seemed the safest way. Okay. And usually it would be because I would stop at the Coney Island to get us some food. Okay. Because he wasn't really cooking nothing back then. I didn't feel like cooking or whatever. So, Coney Island right there. So I would go this way. And this, again, is me late at night. Sometime it'll be around, I remember walking over there at like 2 a.m. Like, it'll just be whatever time I would get up and just want to go over there, or he would call and say, come over, is when I would get up and I would come over. So this is the prison where he used to be at, and I went and visited him before. So now it's something, it's a re-entry center, but this is the prison that's actually in Detroit. It used to be called the Ryan Correctional Facility. I don't know what it's called now. Well, the re-entry center or whatever. But, I would walk this way to get to his house. And again, it's potholed, y'all, so just ignore this stuff if the camera's shaky. So I would just keep, still ain't here yet, y'all. Still ain't here. So I would just be walking and walking. That's probably why I gained weight, was because I started walking to his house. So I got a car, and so it was driving around everywhere. It was just, it was just less walking around time, and still not there. But I would come all this way, you on my way. Thank you. So I hate this street. I've always hated this street. It's so narrow to be a two-way. It's just crazy. I don't know why this bus is coming down here. Is this a D-Dot bus? Bitch, does a D-Dot bus come down the street now? Or is it a double dot? I don't know what kind of bus this is, y'all. But it's a whole bus coming. Oh, no, it's like a reunion bus. Anyway, so this is how I would get to his house. And no, we are still not there. I will come this way. Yep, all on my lonesome. Y'all like, bitch, you walk all the way over here? All the time. All the time. And this is the block that changed my life. And again, I ain't been over here in forever. So I don't think... Oh, wow. So, as y'all see, there are no houses. Okay? None. So, there used to be like 2 houses on that side. There used to be 2 houses on that side. All the time. But that was it. Everything else on this end of the block, it was vacant. There weren't any houses in between here at all. So, the house over here on the right side with the blue tarp, this was my friend's house who introduced me to him. And there used to be one house here next door to her. I don't know if her granny still stayed there, but that's the house, you know, where things used to be. His house, the bad guy's house, is no longer there. It was directly across the street from the other house. So this house is where I told y'all I was pushed out the second floor window. But the window on the other side, I can't get a picture of it because I know I'm not getting out the house because, again, I don't know who's still here. But, you know, this end, it was one house next door to this. It was one house on each side of this house that's left standing. And on that side, it was just the bad guy's house and that one house that's left on the corner. So the house, the block was really secluded. You know, it was easy for us to like be hanging out all the time. And yeah, his whole house is torn down, bitch. All the way torn down. That was his cousin's house on the corner, but that was really it. So this is the block where all of that shit happened at. I'm trying to get my camera to refocus. But this park, as y'all see in front of me, we would do things at the park too. But it looks much better. It looks like they have, you know, redid it. It just looks like you can really come here and kind of hang out, truth be told. And this corner is difficult because you can't see shit. Oh, see? The grass ain't cut, so you can't see nothing when you pull out. And I had to quickly pull it back in. So this is the park area. This is also, I did a story about when I got carjacked and I had to walk to the bad guy's house from this little park. This park looks completely different, even though it's always been here. But solely these big ass rocks, these big boulders that are here, were not here before. This big playground was not here before, so they made that out of something. So that's a great thing, you know, because there's still people who live in this area. But this parking lot that I'm about to pull into right now, oh yeah, it's different over here, y'all. This is where I was carjacked from. When I told y'all we were doing stuff in the car, and I got carjacked. So this is where we were, or whatever. So I was here. The carjacking happened here. Again, they've redone the park and just added more stuff. It looks more, you know, like people really be over here. So I don't see people getting carjacked that much. But I had to go from here and I walked, you know, over to the bad guy's house. And that was that whole thing, which was crazy. Now, okay, so that was my old house that I stayed in back when that was like high school time. And I showed y'all the route I would take when I would leave my house and go to the bad guy's house. And the reason I would leave my house to go to his house was because I could not have overnight company. He could. And usually you go over somebody's house at night to do things. So that's why I would go to his house at night, and I was able to spend the night and then just come back home whenever. So yeah, why did you go to his house? Why would he come to your house? Honey, he couldn't. My parents ain't play that shit. We could not have boys in our room. We could not have, he could come over or whatever, but I mean, you know, yeah, he just couldn't. So that was the hope. Sorry, Mom. But, you know, that was the reason why I would always go to his house. So that's why sometimes it was late at night. because we would be having sex. Like, no tea, no shade. I'm an adult. That's what it was. Or sometimes it was just to hang out. Because again, when I met him, that's when I was hanging out a lot. I was smoking cigarettes. That's when I started smoking cigarettes. That's when I started drinking. Or it was a whole party. It was a whole party time over there. So sometimes I would go over, not even to just be at his house, but to also hang out at my friend's house across the street because her house was like a party house. So that was the party block. The party block, as y'all see, wasn't none but 4 houses on the whole block, and now it's just 2 houses. Hell, let alone it's just one house that's still, because it's the one house on one side that's covered in bushes that looks abandoned, and there's my friend's old house that her granny was still staying in. I don't know who's there now. I don't think her grand stays there because the last time I talked to her grand was living with her because, of course, she's older. But yeah, that's the old stuffing grounds. I showed y'all also where I was carjacked at, okay, with my ex-boyfriend and whatnot. How I had to walk from the park to, back to the bag house. And now you're going to see the house where I was kind of born in, okay? That's my born in house coming up next. So, okay, start enjoying it. Girl, it's glass all in the street. I don't know who these children is hanging out on these corners and stuff. Or in the way. He all finna run the light. Bitch, don't look at me like that. Okay? It's because you ain't gonna stop. So this is, so there used to be a house on this corner. And it was a big old house. And I promise you, they got a whole, I don't have to do a little turnaround. So this, is our old house. Well, the space is gone, so I gotta turn around, y'all. Hold on, let me turn around. Because the house that we used to live in, as I see, is torn down. And girl, these piles, something crazy. So, let's see. This spot that I'm showing y'all, it used to be a house right there that is no longer there. And then, let me see. I got a backup. So, this place. So yeah, that place right there, there used to be a whole house there. And that's where our white neighbors used to be at. And then where we used to stay, it was here. And so that's where the house used to be. And the house is no longer there. So on that side, that house is now gone. And on this side, this house is now gone. And the man on the porch looking like, why she taking pictures and stuff? What's going on? Because that was our neighbor's house. But yeah, so this house is no longer here no more. So it's just open space. And this is where the house used to be. And it's not there anymore. So, it is what it is. However, the park that's, I'm finna try and ride past, that's in front of me, it looks much better than it used to. We used to always be at this park playing, like we would play baseball over here. They moved the swing stuff up closer, so that makes more sense because that's not where it used to be. So it do look more, it's just better. They must have just redid all the parks over here. That's cool. And we had, girl, so much stuff is gone. Because as y'all see, like, when y'all see these corners where there's just land, open land, it used to be like 2 houses in that space. And they just, have torn stuff down. So, we shall see. Now, I'm going to go west real quick to show y'all Hazelwood. Okay, and I would say Hazelwood made me more than St. Louis did, or even on East Nevada, because we used to be hanging out over there so much. So give me a second Give me a second. So, this is our Boston Edison historical district of the west side of Detroit. And this is what we call mini mansions. The houses are huge. They're beautiful. This area has been around for I don't know how long. Karla parents actually stay around here. And it's just always been a beautiful, beautiful area. Again, the homes are always upkept. And it's called the Boston Edison Historic District, mainly because of the homes. And the homes have to be like upkept and all that stuff. Again, I'm not pulling up to nobody's house, but I'm gonna pull up when I see like an opening where I can show y'all something pretty. Where I don't see people outside. Well, I'll pull up right over here. So, pull up right here. You can see. I want to be where the sun isn't like in my face, so I can see what I'm showing y'all. Okay, so these are some of the houses that are here. So that's across the street. So they call them mini mansions just because the houses are so large. It's a really, really great neighborhood. You don't really see too many neighborhoods like this in Detroit where people are like keeping up with stuff and making sure their homes look nice. And again, they're mini mansions, basically. They're, typically a one family home where someone stays, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I can drive a little bit and show y'all because traffic isn't too bad, and I don't like driving and holding my phone, but I'm showing y'all the other end of the street just so that y'all can see the houses of it all. And you see the grass is looking good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, somebody's car broke down right here. So yeah, it's just a great part of Detroit that we don't get to see too often. I'm gonna pull over, like put my phone back into the holster, just so that y'all won't be like, girl, you riding around and you see that my window dirty. Don't worry about that. But again, it's just beautiful, beautiful homes and scenery and all that. I don't know who all these strangers is, honey, but they the strangers. Now, this store on this corner used to be called Sam's. Sam's owned the store. He was the neighborhood, dude or whatever. It's now closed. That store was open my whole childhood. So the fact that it's closed is crazy to me now. So this is Hazelwood. This is my old street. Now, it's good to see, at least on this block, there are still some of the homes who are still here. As you see, there's a whole row of cars, so people still live here and whatnot. People park stupid. But there used to be like more people outside, but it's fine. But this was not my block. My block is the next block. And I'm going to show y'all. So again, when y'all see these big lots or whatever, there used to be homes and houses on these corners. So it looks like about a good 2 or 3 homes are missing, basically. At least on that right side. There used to be homes on there. I lived on the left side, so I'm going to turn the camera over this way a little bit so y'all can see stuff. But again, there used to be cameras, Lord Jesus, houses on both ends of this block. A lot of these houses are now gone, but this is my old block, okay? Hazelwood between Lawton and Wildermere is where I used to stay. I don't know who still lives here or not. This is also where my mom and my dad met. A lot of these houses are gone now. But the house that we grew up in is still here. And so was the house that my dad stayed in back in the day. So that's the house my dad stayed in. It's a 2-family flat. He stayed over there. He moved over here once he met my mom. But this is my old house. Well, my Aunt Willie old house. And we stayed here from when my mom left my bio dad. This is where we came to stay. And our rooms were upstairs. So those 2 rooms upstairs, like the first one was my Aunt Willie room. The second one was my mom's room. Our rooms are in the back, but I can't pull in. I'm not gonna get out to see anything. So it's sad to see the house kind of, you just went to shit. My aunt also owned the house next door, but my aunt passed away years ago when she was in her late 80s, and her daughter, just the house went to what the house went to. There was a whole parking lot next door and stuff. Like, I was raised here. Like, there was a whole fence and stuff here. She had a whole flower bed. The house, of course, now it was boarded up. It looks way, way worse than what it used to look. I wish I had pictures of what it used to look like. There was houses all down this block. So those houses are not gone. There were houses there as well. But again, that house is where my dad was. Like, he lived here. When he moved from here, we moved, him and my mom got engaged and was getting married and stuff, and so we moved together. This was Auntie Sign's house. She was there by Auntie Sign. She passed away years ago as well. There was houses here. There were houses here. So all of these houses have been, torn down. That apartment building right there used to have people in it. Like, people used to stay in that building, and now you can see it's abandoned. So the area over here is just completely different than what it used to be. Like, it's just not that anymore. So that's another reason. Putting the camera back in now, y'all. That's another reason why I don't come over here as often, because it's kind of just no reason to, because everything that that I would like do over here, like, it ain't here no more. I'm trying to plug in my charger because my battery's low. But yeah, so it's just different, completely different. But as you see, you come down one more block, and there's all kind of houses and people. So again, in Detroit, that happens a lot. From one block to the next, you have nothing and then a whole bunch of something. Like, it's crazy. And then, on blocks that are full of people, you have a couple vacant houses in between. So that's why when some people say, oh, they'll find a house on the street that's fully full and they can renovate it and flip it, it's because some of these great neighborhoods still has, these houses out here. So I hope, it's crazy for me to, like, be riding around my old stomping grounds and, like, just kind of realizing how, damn, look at Brady, bruh. So I was driving and I was talking and I rode past, this is my elementary school, called Brady Elementary, and, like, it's, like, just completely, like, abandoned, basically. A whole school building, like, a whole school building, bitch. I mean, I'm gonna try to drive and hold. Next time I do this, I'm gonna bring my handheld thing with me. But this is Brady Elementary. I went here from 1st grade all the way up until 5th grade. And the school was a shit. The school was beautiful. Okay, Mr. Burton had a yellow line. And if you, wow. Like, I used to go, this is what my 4th grade class was up above with a tree blocking the thing, but wow, I can't believe it. Brady Elementary. And then over there, I'm gonna ride over there too. Those were, it was called the Annex, and that was where they had, I'm gonna try to pull in here, and that is where they had some of the younger classes. I hope I don't get no damn flat tire right around this damn. So this is gonna be crazy. Oh. That is the Annex. So when you were in, if you were in preschool through first grade, you were over there. That's what that was. That was all the playground area. So we would come outside and we had all this area to play in. So yeah, see how beautiful the sky looks? But that was the playground area. And wow, I don't want to ride over there because it's a lot of glass. But this is the school. This was our elementary school. Damn. I just can't believe it's like, like emptied out, tagged and all that stuff. Crazy. Because I graduated from elementary school in 1993. Yeah, 93. So, wow. Crazy. How much? Because I haven't been over here in a long time. Yeah, my 4th grade class was right up there in that window. Mrs. Greer's class. Crazy. But now let me try to get to where I was going. I was talking to y'all and had to go around me, bruh. Because people follow, traffic or whatever. But, so this was the annex. And so you see it's little buildings. And so this is where they had us at. Because, I started here in the 1st grade. So if you were in the 1st grade, I was 1st grade class, Mrs. Thomas class. And that was our classroom. Right there. I should have zoomed in earlier. But, yeah, that was our classroom. So, the school was huge. Like, it was completely huge. That's more of the playground area. So, this is where it was a fence over there for us. So that, people couldn't get in or whatever and the kids couldn't run out. But all of this was still playground area. So, we had tons of room to run around. I'm still so shocked about my elementary school, simply because I haven't seen it in so many years that I'm like, wow, bruh. Like, wow. So yeah, I was literally riding down the street and looked and I was like, well, goddamn it, man. Well, goddamn it. Okay. So just kind of rode around a little bit and there's still a whole other side, because y'all saw how long the block was for the school. And so there was still a whole other side that I couldn't get around to drive to that side to show the other side of the building. I was able to show the whole front, and then one side I did not show the other side because I can't drive that way, and I couldn't show the full back of it because I couldn't get all the way around. But the little annex building that was across, and Brady was really a great school. We had choir classes, we had plays. I was in the choir and I was in the band. I played the violin. So Brady Elementary was a great school. We had a teacher called Mrs. Bridges, and she always would grab us by the chin, which a little bit of was abuse, but whatever. And she would always be catching cabs, and it's because we thought she had a Batmobile. It was weird. I was a 3rd grader. Anyway, but that's the school where I met Karla. Me and Karla met at Brady Elementary School. But yeah, it was just like, wow, the whole school is really like closed and abandoned. They've closed a lot of schools in Detroit. I went to Brady Elementary. It's closed. I went to Hutchins Middle School. It's closed. I went to Murray Wright High School. It's closed. I think it's closed. It may be. It's not open. I don't know what it is. God damn it. But I know Hutchins and Brady's closed. Murray Wright may be something else, but it's no longer like my high school or whatnot. But yeah, like, this is crazy. I didn't ride past Murray Wright because I didn't feel like I was driving that far into the west side or whatever. So I just did those two schools. But I also did my middle school. So take a look at. So this is my middle school. It looks better than I thought. At least the glass windows are not busted out. It do look like they have like, is that bulletproof glass? I'm not even sure. but it looks better than Brady do. So this is Hutchins Middle School, that I went to from 6th to 8th grade is what this is. I'm going to try to go all the way around the block to show y'all how huge our schools were and are that are now abandoned. So we didn't have small schools, and it was because all the neighborhood kids usually attended the same schools. So again, this is Hutchins Middle School, and this was our playground area. Also was a basketball court, all this stuff. I gotta go all the way around the block, girl, all the way around. But that is that. So that school looks better than the other ones did, or whatnot. Y'all see, it's a lot of abandonedness in this area, with some of these buildings and stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. It's just different over here. I just can't even believe how different it looks to when I was growing up. But this is my first stab at vlogging my own stuff. I can't do much work stuff because I don't want anyone knowing where I work, for one. And my job, like, due to HIPAA, I just don't even, play that game with, recording anything while being at work, because I do work in the medical field. So I can't really vlog me at work or talk about that stuff like that, because I ain't trying to get in no trouble. I ain't trying to lose my job right now. Now later on, when I quit my job, because YouTube paying me enough money to where it's no longer extra, it's my income times 3 or times 4. But until then, you get what you get. But I'm gonna cut it off here because I don't know how much footage I already have that has to be edited down to be about 15 to 20 minutes worth of me riding and talking. But again, my first stab at vlogging. I'll probably talk about something else later. We shall see what I can think about and think of that is safe for me to talk about. But I hope y'all enjoyed. I gotta piece this shit together once I get home. That's gonna be a whole task within itself. And other than that, y'all know I love y'all. I love my Jaybirds. Peace.